Hi and welcome to my channel. If you're new here for the first time, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. A bit about me. First, I'm an intuitive tarot reader. I pick up on energy prior to a reading. I will then come and use my tarot and oracle decks to further clarify the message. All of my readings are timeless, so whenever you stumble across this reading, you are meant to find it. All of the decks that I use on my channel are my own designs because I am also an illustrator. Now, this particular reading is part of a series of readings that I am doing, pulling in the energy of the number 9. 2025 this year is representative, if you add those numbers up, of the number 9. And now 9 symbolizes completion. But the energy I'm pulling through is that collectively we are in a huge period of gestation. If you think about the number 9, you can think about pregnancy, a huge period of rebirth, culminating at the end of the year with the 999 portal, which is a portal that doesn't happen every year. So it will be the 9th of September 2025, 999. The last time that happened was 2016. I'm pulling in the energy of the two Marys, not a religious reading, but I'm pulling in those two archetypal energies. We're looking at Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. One of them birthed a baby, one of them helped birth a religion. As I said, that number 9 is endings, it's closure, a big gestational period that we are going through. So this introduction to this reading will actually be housed at the start of all of the readings, just to give you a bit of context and so I don't have to repeat myself across the readings. So if you get to the second reading, and you've already heard it, I'll put the timestamps in the description. I'm just going to give you some more information as to the messages that were coming through. I was hearing the word novena, which means 9 days. This year is the year of the snake. The snake sheds skin. So rebirth, rebirthing, shedding our old skin into a frequency that now resonates with our soul. So when I'm talking about shedding your old skin, I'm talking about potentially your spiritual beliefs, because this year and for the next 18 months, from January 2025 through to midway in 2026, the North Node is in Pisces. Now, Pisces is spirituality. And if you think about that context with the two Marys, Pisces, the fish, is also the symbol of Jesus, which is somebody that was connected to those two women. One birthed Jesus, one helped Jesus actually bring about a spiritual revolution. The previous reading that I did, if you want to know more about what's happening collectively in terms of this spiritual revolution, this big gestational period collectively we've been in for the last 2,000 years, it's just coming to a head this year. That 999 portal in September is an opening up to spiritual truth, a searching for spiritual truth, and an acknowledgement of the things that you've potentially been avoiding on a personal level, but on a collective level. I was also picking up bee energy. You think of bee energy, you think of the queen bee. And the symbolism around the words rebirth, Mother Mary, the Virgin Mary, Mary Magdalene, and 999. Now, if you watch my previous readings, I use gematria code, which is a technique used to align alphanumerically numbers to letters, which gives each word or a phrase a numerical value. And then you can look at, a bit like you would do with a thesaurus, you can look at words that are similar in alphanumeric value. So the words that align alphanumerically with Mother Mary: first trimester, Constantine the Great. Now, back in the mid-300s, Constantine actually changed religions, but he actually was responsible for allowing Christianity to be practiced legally, because for about 250 years after Jesus, it was illegal to practice. And his mother, in fact, Helena, her name was, actually went on a pilgrimage and brought back fragments of the cross from the tomb of Jesus. She was the patron saint of bad marriages and converts. But interesting, that tie in again with that divine feminine energy, that mother energy. Mother Mary is also symbolized in gematria alongside the words Snow White, the Great Awakening, the Bride of Christ, Heaven on Earth, the Virgin Mary, a star is born, and divine union. Now the Virgin Mary in gematria code 1356 is the number. I'm the captain now. And it's got that feeling of taking leadership, taking ownership. Mother has spoken. Mary Magdalene, 624. Payphone, discouragement, night and day, and remember Pearl Harbor. Triplets, golden hour, Carrington, mental health, blessed by God, and the female Christ. 999, lines with the words songbird, first dragon, emerald green, bird song, the children, eclipses. Now we've got one Friday, March 14th. Dragonfire, life goes on. All eyes on me, watermelon. Dionysus, the atomic bomb, earthquakes, the worm moon, the mother of God, and Palm Sunday. All of these words are lining back to symbolism of Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. The other thing that was interesting, I got shepherdess and I also got Sarah Connor. Now, if you think about the Terminator movies, and I watched the author of those books talking about the Terminator movies being about the birth of Jesus, and the Matrix movies is where baby John Connor, is that his name? John Connor, in the Terminator movies, steps into his role as metaphorical Jesus in the Matrix. That's how those books were written. So as I said in the beginning, this rebirth energy, a rebirth that comes after the gestation, a change, that symbolism of the dance of creation, the cycles of life, the turning point, the current energy that we are in. So before we get into the tarot reading, if you haven't already, please subscribe. If the reading resonates with you, give it a like. Any of the songs, movies that I mention within this reading can be found in the description box. There might be more messages in them for you. And if you're called to any of my hand illustrated decks, the links to those can also be found in the description box. Hi and welcome to your reading. So I've got lots and lots of overlapping energies coming through. It's a bit erratic, the energy of this reading, but what I'm going to start with is the messages that I was getting for you. I did a pre-shuffle and I got these 3 cards, but as I was doing the pre-shuffle, well, the reshuffle of all the cards from the last reading and popping the Scrabble tiles back, this tile literally flew off the table. And it's done it again. Flew off the table. And landed on the floor. It's the Q. Q10. That's a building here. Q10. That's a building here in the city I live in. As I said in the previous reading, we have got big cyclone coming. They don't normally come this far down the coast of Queensland. They're normally up in the north of Queensland, where I grew up. So I'm fairly used to cyclones. And everybody around town, and I live in the biggest city in Queensland, everybody around the city is just going absolutely nuts because this cyclone is coming. They're not used to it. The calm before the storm, but nobody's calm. There's something coming, a rebirth coming, and there's antsiness because you're being told just to remain calm. And when you think about a cyclone, I remember a story. So most of my family grew up in the north of this state. And I remember this story of a huge table that was out the back of my mother-in-law's home. And it took 8 people to lift this table, 8 men to lift this table. And the cyclone came through, and the power of the wind actually lifted this table, and it landed in their next door neighbour's yard. What's the message in that? Some sort of plan that you're wanting to make, but you don't have the strength to do it, or you're being held in a queue, and you feel like that job isn't going to get done before the storm comes. Okay, we've got number 40, consolation and comfort. That's the Page of Cups. Now that came out twice in the last reading and 3 times in the reading before. The Page of Cups is the moon in Pisces. Pisces is spirituality. Some hidden. Maybe you're meant to see. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe you're meant to see the strength of the divine in this part of your rebirthing process. The power that the divine has. Because the moon in Pisces, the moon is what's hidden. Well, the moon itself in the tarot is number 18. It's Pisces and Neptune energy. You're being asked to hold. And then we've got number 28, which is health and longevity. Now that aligns with the 6 of Wands, which is Jupiter and Leo. And that card in the tarot, the 6 of Wands, is about a guy who goes away to battle. Something that you've been trying to rebirth. And everybody thinks he's long gone. And then he rides back into town on a horse. Okay. Radio. I've got some other messages that were coming through. I was getting some Bible stories. And for some reason, and I do apologize if you're not religious, but my guides are giving me non-stop these Bible stories. Now, I grew up Catholic, and I still am Catholic, but I'm not a regular Bible reader, and I'm not a regular churchgoer. I do have a very strong faith, but I don't believe that my connection to God is found within a church. And that might be relevant for somebody. Your connection to God is not necessarily found in a church. It's actually found in your heart, in your soul, in your mind. He rode back into town on a horse. So the 3 stories that I was getting, I got Peter's crucifixion. Now, Peter was a disciple, and he actually denied Jesus a couple of times. And why am I getting these biblical stories? Because we're in the North Node is in Pisces, which is spirituality, and Pisces is the symbol of the fish. Well, the symbol of the fish is Jesus. We've got a huge, big shake-up happening in the Catholic Church at the moment. In the Christian Church at the moment, specifically the Catholic Church. A big change that's coming through that aligns with lots and lots of 777 synchronicities this year. And so, of course, I get these religious context, these stories. So when Peter was crucified after Jesus died, because he didn't see himself spiritually on the same level as Jesus, he asked to be crucified upside down. That aligns with the hangman, which is our Neptune energy. The queue that you're in. There's something spiritual that you're still meant to learn whilst you are in this queue, whilst you are in this pause. A spiritual significance to it, because that's the moon in Pisces. Now, the other story that I got was Jesus riding into town on a donkey. That's the 6 of Wands. That's that card there. They thought he had not survived the war because he was a soldier, until he rode back into town on a donkey. Now, the dichotomy, is that the right word? was he was the king of heaven, the highest person on earth in a spiritual sense, a spiritual king. But he rode into town on a donkey. He didn't drive in a Maserati. He rode into town on a donkey. And what I want to say here is about spiritual humility. Because the other story that I got, and I didn't really understand it, I just kept hearing the Song of Deborah. And so I had to look it up. She was a prophetess, and she was a judge. The calm before the storm. And when you think about a storm, the potential is everything gets taken away. This is about spiritual wealth, recognizing that your spiritual wealth doesn't lie in material things, and that's what brings about your rebirth. Now, I got this song come through, Jeremy Zucker. Now I'm shaking, drinking all this coffee. These last few weeks have been exhausting. I'm lost in my imagination, and there's one thing that I need from you. Can you come through? Which is somebody externally looking for the answer, but the answer lies within. The moon is divine feminine energy. The moon in Pisces, divine feminine energy. There's a spiritual lesson that you're meant to learn, and that's why you're being held in the queue. And it's about humility. And I don't know whether that story aligns with Jesus riding into town on a donkey. For some reason, I'm hearing Palm Sunday. I don't know when that is. The Sunday before Easter? Because Easter is about a rebirth. It's spring. Being held in a queue. Okay, the other song that I was getting was, and it came through in the previous reading, is the song Defying Gravity from the movie Wicked. I'm just thinking about that table that lifted up and went into the next door neighbour's yard. Once you actually learn this lesson in spiritual humility, that your spiritual strength is actually greater than your worldly possessions. Because I think, really, a cyclone could come through and we could lose everything. But does it really matter if you have your spiritual wealth? What really is of value? And learning that lesson is part of your rebirth. Interesting. That song, something has changed within me. The light bulb going on. The hangman. Something has changed within me. Something is not the same. And she went, I'm just thinking of the movie Wicked. She went to the Emerald City. What's that song, The Wizard and I? She went to the Emerald City thinking that all of her dreams were going to come true. But she left the Emerald City recognizing the power she had within, the spiritual power she had within. How beautiful is that? Okay, let's get a guidance card. Patience and perseverance. Being held in the queue. Spiritual lesson that you need to learn while you're being held in the queue. Anything else? Yeah, a no. No, you can't move forward. And I was seeing the, you just have to stay put. I was seeing the Knight of Wands, which is this kind of impatient energy. And when you think about, no, that's a red light. Stop. Flip it the other way, and it's the green light. It's on. You're just being held. There's something. There's a spiritual lesson in humility that you're meant to learn. And I would also say to you too, the calm before the storm. There was a hidden agenda in why she was brought to Oz. There was a hidden agenda in it. And she didn't recognize what was going on beneath the surface until she started asking questions. Patience and perseverance. Yeah, trying to take her power. She was actually being protected. By being held back, she was actually being protected. Because you imagine, and I don't know whether you've seen the movie Wicked, but you imagine if she had have gone to that university any earlier, if she had of been lured in at a younger age, she wouldn't have had strength and knowledge to be able to fight that battle. It's a bit like the people in the city that I live in have not experienced a cyclone before. Yet, 20 years of living or 15 years of living in North Queensland, it's like I'm calm while everybody else is racing around with, like chooks with their heads cut off. The calm before the storm. I just keep hearing you're an empath. You're picking up on, and I know myself, like everything is energy, right? The animals pick up on it. My dog's been outside barking this morning. There's a huge, big cyclone forming off the coast. It's all energy. It's like this build, 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 build. Energetically, you're picking up on something. And I think it's making you antsy and you want to just charge forward. But if you go out in the storm, you're meant to let the storm pass over. Okay, let's get some cards for you. The energy around you. The storm, the energy around you, the Five of Wands. Okay, this is you in the 3D. Hold. Oh, I was hearing that before the reading. Hold, hold. That's from, is it from Avatar? This battle. Something going on around you and you're just being asked to just wait in the queue, calmly wait in the queue. Patience, perseverance, hold. The other thing I got was the movie 1917. Now, I didn't know this, but my daughter had said to me that it was filmed on one continuous reel or one continuous film. There's no break in it. It's just one continuous shot. And everybody has to play their part. And part of your part is just this hold. The calm before the storm. What's happening in the soul? Page of Wands. Now that tried to come out before. Page of Wands is the explorer. Saturn in Sagittarius. Saturn is a lesson. Hold. So bigger, if you think about that movie 1917, right? If one of the cast members, you're a cast member, if one of the cast members kind of moved or got in the frame, it would have messed everything up. There's a bigger divine plan happening here. A bigger divine plan. Maybe you're still sourcing the donkey. Message from the man upstairs. Okay. We've got the Ten of Swords, which is karmic completion. So, and then we've got the Six of Swords, which is moving on to calmer waters. That's Mercury in Aquarius. And the Two of Swords on the bottom, which is the Moon in Libra. Just get one more. And the High Priestess, it's hidden. I was about to say, I just want to get a bit more because I'm not picking up on that. It's hidden. There's a hidden lesson. There's a hidden lesson in spiritual humility. Because the High Priestess is what's hidden. It's the Moon. And the Ten of Cups, which is a spiritual lesson. That's Mars in Pisces. Just bear with me. If Dorothy hadn't have ventured outside, she would have been safe down in the that underground thing that they were in. Instead, she ventured outside and ended up racing back into the house, which flung her up in the air. She ended up in Oz. The house landed on the Wicked Witch, which then brought the Wicked Witch from the West in. And this whole chain of events. You're part of a chain of events. You're part, I just said, you're a cog in the wheel of a chain of a divine chain of events that will eventually bring your rebirth. But I think you're trying to race to the end of the movie and you're just being asked to hold. There's some sort of patience and planning that needs to go in. Now, I will give you an example. So today, I was meant to drop my daughter across to university. She's unwell today, and so she's not going. And it means that I've been able to get in. I've got multiple readings that I've done this morning. They're expecting that, you know, in the next 2 days we're going to have 500 mils of rain. So there's lots of jobs that need to be done around the outside of the house. Like things need to be brought in, the pool needs to be emptied a bit, anything kind of outside that's not secured needs to be secured. We're expecting to lose power. So today I've been able to get in and do, you know, I wash sheets on Wednesdays, Thursdays and Fridays. Being able to get in and get all of that done today because potentially we might lose power. I'll be doing a bit of cooking today, but my day didn't start off like that. There was a change that happened. There's something you're meant to do in this whole period, and it has to do with your spiritual humility. Okay, let's have a look at the carnage that's happening around you. With this Five of Wands, fighting, that's fighting energy. I just heard these, them, there are fighting words. Two of Pentacles, you're meant to find balance in it. Four of Wands, which is Venus in Aries, and Seven of Swords. There's something deceptive. There's something, there's something deceptive in something that's happening around you, and you're meant to find balance in it. The Seven of Swords is the Moon in Aquarius. And the Four of Wands is, it's celebration energy you're racing towards. But if you think about, right, that's got a house on it, right? We've got 7 swords here. 2 are stuck in the ground. One's on the ground and he's holding on to 4 of them. If he just walks inside and leaves those 7 swords, or those 3 swords there outside before the cyclone comes, they're going to probably end up in somebody else's backyard, somebody's head. There's some sort of tidy up that you're meant to do. Deception, 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 balance. Fighting, deception, balance. I'm going to leave that there. The Wheel of Fortune is what that deck wanted to split on, which is 777. The Three of Pentacles. So we've got the Hangman here, which was Peter's crucifixion. It's this hold energy, this holding pattern that you've been put in. Your flight's been delayed because you're not meant to fly in this. You're not meant to fly in the storm. Three of Pentacles. Whatever you're trying to build, you can't build it in the middle of a storm. And when you think about that, you know, all of the construction sites and everything tomorrow, the next day, they're all closing down. They're literally spending the day securing anything. You're not meant to build in the storm. You've got to wait till the storm passes. And then you can ride into town on your horse or on your donkey. Page of Wands, yeah, hold. See, he's up behind the tree. He can't birth. He wants to come down and tell this person that he loves her. He can't come down yet. There's still a storm. What's that song? There's a storm. There's a storm. Breathe Easy by Timothy Bowen. There's a storm that's raging. The Page of Wands, but you're just raring to go. This is your soul. You're raring to go. The Wheel of Fortune. Maybe you can see the end. But what you can't see is what's hidden. That's the Two of Swords. That's the Moon in Libra. This is what's happening in your soul. There's some divine lesson that you're meant to learn. And if you charge forward, we got two swords here. You're going to get these two swords. You're going to get these two swords in the back of the head, is what I want to say. If you charge forward, you're going to get the two swords in the back of the head. Because if you have a look at that card, they're actually behind him. They're behind him and kind of behind the tree. You can see the one on the ground there. He's got a hold of the other four, but these are hidden. It's deception. Okay, the Six of Swords. And the Ten of Wands. This is a message from God, the Emperor. Hold. The Emperor is Mars energy. The Emperor wants to charge forward. You've got the man upstairs who is the ultimate Emperor telling you just... there's a... I don't know whether it's an Australian saying. My parents, or my dad used to say, actually my grandfather used to say it, hold your cotton picking horses. Just hold your cotton picking horses. Page of Pentacles. There's a lesson that you need to learn. There's a lesson that you need to learn. Wow. And it's hidden. And it's hidden. The High Priestess. The High Priestess. The Empress. I say no more. I say no more. That's the Hangman. You are trying to... So the Hangman is being held. You're trying to reverse it. You're trying to go. You're trying to build the Empress. Whatever rebirth you want, you're trying to build it. And the Divine is saying, hold. There's something. There's... There's some deception that you're not seeing. The King of Pentacles might be financial. And the Hierophant. Something that you're financially bound to. There's a hidden deception in it. The Sun. You're going to get illuminated to it. And I just heard the Justice card, which is legal. Temperance. Divine timing. If you go too early, you're going to be in the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands. The Six of Wands, which was... that card, the Queen of Swords, Uranus in Aquarius. The Nine of Swords, being held back. Balance, that's the card of divine timing. And it's about the Hierophant, something that you're attached to, and finance. And you're going to be illuminated to it. But the thing is here, God is the director. That movie, that 1917 movie, which is about a soldier's journey, really. That 1917 movie was about a series of events that was all captured on one. And God is the director. God is the director here. You know, it's a bit like this cyclone that's coming. You know, it doesn't matter what you do, whether you've got enough water or enough tins of baked beans or, you know, tape on your windows. God is actually in control of the rain and the wind and the sun. We can do all these things, but at the end of the day, we're not in control. Okay, let's get you a moon. Okay. Let's see what we've got. Now that landed on the Emperor. Waxing like a Cheshire cat, the moon whispers, believe in your wildest dreams. New moon in Virgo, nudging us to spread kindness and generosity instead of being cosmic hoarders. What do you need to let go of? That's a helicopter. I just heard, get to the chopper. Get to the chopper. You want to get to the chopper. What is that? That's Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know what movie that is in. Get to the chopper. You're in a race. You're in a hurry. Get to the chopper. South Node in Pisces. Head lost in a sky full of clouds thanks to the South Node in Pisces, drifting off into that dreamy land of confusion. Let's toss in a pinch of practical magic and some down-to-earth vibes. Mix those lofty dreams with a touch of reality. Say farewell to old habits and dive headfirst into a bold new adventure. But you're diving too fast. You've got to... Yeah, that's patience and planning. And North Node in the 12th house. Now, the 12th house is ruled by Pisces. So we've got two Pisces cards here. If your North Node is chilling in the 12th house, keep in mind that even if you're gunning for perfection, nobody's got it all figured out. To level up, ditch the nitpicking and take a leap of faith by tuning into your gut feelings and trusting the cosmic flow. When I think about the cosmic flow, I think about that movie, 1917. It was the flow. And the North Node in Scorpio, which is death and rebirth. Under the cosmic influence of the North Node in Scorpio, it's time to Marie Kondo our lives, bid farewell to those outdated patterns, toxic ties, and emotional baggage. By decluttering our metaphorical closets, we pave the path for some serious glow up and transformation. That's what I've been doing today. I have literally been going through getting rid of anything in the yard that needs removing, getting myself prepared for whatever storm is coming. Maybe you're not in the storm yet. Maybe the storm is on the way and you don't realize it's on the way, or you know it's coming. You're trying to get out of there before it hits. But you're not in control. Okay. Now, this is my love songs deck. Not necessarily a love reading. I mean, if that resonates with you, then that's great. But let's just see what else wants to come out. We may not get anything. I'll just see if there's anything. Okay. Woman, I know you understand the little child inside the man. Please remember, my life is in your hands. And woman, hold me close to your heart, however distant. Don't keep us apart. After all, it's written in the stars. He wrote that song about Yoko Ono after he'd had an affair. And he learned a spiritual lesson. My life is in your hands. It was a lesson in humility. That's interesting, right? Okay, I'm going to get you some Scrabble tiles. In here, Scrabble tiles, letters and numbers on each one. I'll call them out. Could be your first, middle, last initial, or that of somebody around you, or a situation that you are in where you are trying to rebirth something and you are being held back, kept in the queue. take a number. I'm going to give it a shake. It does make a little bit of noise. If you've got hearing sensitivity, just turn your volume down. I'm going to shake it in 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's see what we got. We've got a V and a 4, a VHS, a H and a 4. VHS is an old movie tapes. I and a 1. IRL, in real life. An R and a 1 and an L and a 1. A E and a 1, a Y and a 4. A C and a 3. I nearly said that, C3PO. A C and a 3, a P and a 3. An A. Certified practicing accountant. Maybe you got some book work to do. Maybe that's the battle you're in. An S and a 1. An N and a 1. A T and a 1. A U and a 1. A Z and a 10. A W and a 4. W is for Wilhelmina. A B and a 3. And what have we got here? An O and a 1. And we do have that again. Can I go now? Can I go now? No. W is for Wilhelmina. I don't have the right letters, but I thought I had wicked. Missing the D and the K. Okay, I'm going to get 3 final cards. Pause the video. There might be more messages or more messages in words. If you want to pause the video and see if you can make out any words that might be relevant to you. I just had rub-a-dub-dub, 3 men in a tub. The butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. What? Queen of Wands. Which is the moon in Leo. The 6 of Cups. Sun and Scorpio. The 8 of Wands and the 10 of Wands. Being held. The burden of being held when you want to charge forward. You're being held in the past by a spiritual lesson. But once you learn it, whatever it is, this spiritual humility, once you actually learn it, you get a big fat gift. That's a gift from God. A gift from God. Judgment. Look at that. A gift from God. The Ace of Swords, judgment. And the Ace of Pentacles. It's a big gift that you get from God. From being held back. That's the slowest moving ace. It takes a long time to earn that gift. Interesting. Okay, that's where I'm going to leave it. Thank you so much for joining me. I will list the songs that came through in this reading, any movies that came through. I can't remember now. I've kind of been out of it during this reading. Just channeling things through. I will list anything that I mentioned in the description box. There might be more messages in those for you. If you are called to any of my tarot or oracle decks, the links to those can be found also in the description box. That's one way that you can support my channel. All the best on this rebirth, on this spiritual journey that you are on, and I will see you again in another reading.